Excuse me. What are you doing? We're in the middle of something. What do you think this is? Carbs are bad, carbs are good, fat's bad. We should eat all fat. No, it's pure protein, brother. Well, welcome to my growing pains. I'm trying to figure out different setups around here. So now I've got this little desk. I've got some stuff behind me. This is my trophy from my physique show back in the day. But I feel like I like this one a little bit better than the last background. I'm thinking about maybe if I don't like this too much, I might just walk around like vlogging. But this is a DSLR camera, so it's pretty massive. So I'm gonna be that guy. And I don't know if I've ever actually seen like a dude doing that before. But I guess it could be the first. Today we're talking about how you should eat. Everything that you need to know about eating. What are your calories? What are your macros? What are your micros? Do they even matter? We're gonna be talking about that today. Basically, a calorie is a unit of energy. When you eat calories, you have more energy. That's why you kind of see people are like, I'm feeling sluggish or whatever, and then you go eat lunch, and you feel a lot better, or you may feel worse because you've eaten too many calories and now you're getting tired from all the digestion. Anyway, it's a unit of energy. Now, every food has calories. They have energy that you can take in and use for yourself, but they also have nutrients. So go to your cupboard or whatever you need to do, your refrigerator, grab something with a nutrition label, and let's talk about it. I'll wait. Just kidding. Okay, so I got myself some checks. These are amazing. I have these post-workout. They've got a little bit of fat, carbs, and protein, which are really good for your workout, post-workout, and they just taste delicious. Calories on the side here. So if we take a look at this. So if we look at the nutrition label here, the first thing you see is it says nutrition facts at the top. You probably see that. And then it says about 8 servings per container. So when you look at these nutrition facts, this is per serving. Now there's 8 servings. So if you were to multiply all of these nutrition facts times 8, that's what you would get if you eat the entire box. So let's look. About 8 servings per container. Serving size is 1 cup or 48 grams. Now, if you are trying to measure this, it's really hard to measure in a cup because you have air pockets that go in between. It's not going to be completely flat because it's not a liquid. So that's why they put the grams, and I weigh everything. So I have a little scale that I use. Wow, that's nice and dirty. I need to clean that. So I've got a little scale that I use. This one is Nourish, just a simple digital scale. It can do grams, ounces, fluid ounces, milliliters, everything like that right on here. And so I don't even look at the if it's a cup or anything like that. I look straight at the grams because I weigh everything pretty much in grams, and you can divide easier and figure it all out a lot easier. So in your calories right here, it says peanut butter Chex is 180 calories. That's 180 calories per serving, which is 41 grams. Keep that in mind. Next thing down is it says percent DV, and then there's 2 asterisks. Basically, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, they've said that 2,000 calories per day is pretty good for each person. I don't go by that because I have different goals, and I don't think you should either because you have different goals and a different body type, and it's really hard to just generalize and say everybody should have 2,000 calories. So I don't really look at those percentages, but I can kind of explain what they are. What do you think this is? You want Chex Mix? So next we're going to look at total carbs, 32 grams of carbs. Below that, dietary fiber, 2 grams, total sugars, 9 grams, and included added sugars are 9 grams. So of your 32 grams of carbs, your dietary fiber makes up 2 grams of those, leaving you 30 grams. And then your total sugars are 9 grams. Of those sugars, the added sugars are 9 grams. So in this, all of the sugar is added. This is not naturally sweet. So if you take a piece of fruit, for example, that has 0 added sugars because it naturally has a bunch of sugar in it. Below that you have protein, which is 3 grams. and it's just not much, but better than nothing. All right, so your macronutrients are your fats, proteins, and carbs. So they're macro because they're what mainly makes up the food. There are micronutrients. They're not as much of those nutrients in each food that you eat, but they're still important. It doesn't have to do anything with how important something is. So the macronutrients here, fat, carbs, and protein. Let's look at fat to start. 4.5 grams of fat. Now, the calories are made up of the fats, carbs, and proteins. So 4.5 grams, what you need to know is 1 gram is 9 calories. So 4.5 grams, if you multiply that by 9, is 40.5 calories. So of your 180, you have 40.5 from fat. Let's go to the carbs real quick. Carbs are 32 grams. 1 gram of carb equals 4 calories. So 32 times 4 is 128. 128 calories of the 180 are from carbs alone. This is a high carb food. And then protein is also 4 calories per gram. So 4 times 3 is 12. So that's how if you add that all up, it's 180.5. They don't have decimal points on here, so they rounded it to 180. So that's actually how you read a nutrition label with your fats, carbs, and proteins, and what it actually means, like why there's so many grams in here, or where 180 calories actually comes from. So why should you care though? Because the basic concept is if you want to lose weight, you just eat less. You have more calorie intake, and then you lose weight, right? Because you're burning more calories. This is where it kind of goes into a debate because people say, the keto diet's the right one, or because like low carbs, but some carbs are okay. Everything like that. It's really a debate because there are a lot of different energy systems in the body, and every body is completely different. So you can't take one thing and apply it to everyone. You really have to learn about your body and figure out how it responds to specific things. Now, the one thing that we really know is right now the average body, the average human, runs off of carbohydrates. I'm not saying that was the same thing when there was when we were hunters and gatherers, or whatever you want to talk about. Right now, that's what we know. We know that carbs fuel us, fuel our muscles, fuel our brains, fuel pretty much everything. But of course, fats and proteins are also important as well. Fats really regulate hormones and things like that. Protein rebuilds muscle. So we can't just say we should only have one thing. We should only eat protein. We should only eat fat. We really need a great mixture of everything to be our best selves. So what we're going to want to do is take a percentage of each macronutrient to get your optimal performance. Now, your percentage is going to be of your total calories. So we're going to say 50% of your calories should be from carbs. If you don't know how many calories you should be taking in each day, what I want you to do is download a food tracking app like MyFitnessPal or something like that. I use MyFitnessPal, so I recommend that one. But track your intake for 3 days. Don't change what you eat. Don't change how much you eat. Just track it. And then you take the average of those 3 days, and that is your maintenance calorie intake. So if you want to stay the same exact weight, eat that many calories each day. If you want to get bigger, add 200 calories. If you want to get more lean, subtract 200 to 500 calories. But once you get that calorie intake per day, we're going to break it down into percentages. And as you progress, you should play with these different percentages. What I'm going to give you is the very basics with the starting point. See how your body reacts and change as needed. So what you want to do, you grab your calories, right? So if there's 2,000 calories, 50% of those calories should come from carbs. How many calories should come from carbs? Hopefully you know how to do the math now. 50% of your calories, 50% of 2,000 is 1,000. How many calories in 1 gram of carb? 4. So you take your 1,000 divided by 4, you're eating 250 grams of carbs each day. Now we're going to do the same thing for your fats and your proteins. Your fats should be 30%. It's a good starting point. So 30% of 2,000 is 600. And then how many calories per gram? 9. Divide that 600 divided by 9, and that's 66 grams of fat per day. The remaining is going to be your protein, which is going to be your 20%. So 20% of 2,000 is 400. That's how many calories. But how many grams? You have to divide that by 4. That's going to be 100 grams of protein per day. That's a great starting point. Adjust from there. Typically, you're going to probably increase your protein, maybe decrease your fat. You run off of carbs, so you might want to increase your carbs. However your body feels, however you like it, however you look in the mirror, you're like, you know what, I need to, I'm feeling a little bloated, so I'm going to lower my carbs, anything like that. So you got to play with it. Let me know if you have any questions. I can definitely help you out. Go check out brianburkfitness.com. There you get my grocery list, what I go and buy from the grocery store whenever I need to go and do my rounds. It's a good, healthy diet and a little bit of treats in there because it's all about balance. Check out my last video as well. That's about creating your own workout routine, how personal trainers do it so you can do it yourself. Subscribe to my channel so you can see the second part of this video, which is about micronutrients. Why don't we talk about them? Why don't they matter as much? Or do they? Why should I even care? Everything that you need to know. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.